Okay, the answers to the low stakes quiz then. Question 1. When you're multiplying with powers, you add the powers. So you get f to the power of 3 plus 4, which is f to the power of 7. Very straightforward. Question 2, a ratio question. Jack and Holly share some money in the ratio 3 to 5. So that's our ratio, 3 to 5. Holly gets £10 more than Jack. How much do they both get? So I need to work out both parts of the ratio. This is the ratio that I've highlighted. I'm going to draw my boxes. It's going to be 3 for Jack and 5 for Holly. And it says that Holly gets £10 more than Jack. So it's these two boxes here that represent the £10 more. If that whole section is £10, then each box must be a fiver. Which means that every box is a fiver. Which means that Jack gets £15, 5 lots of 3, and Holly gets £25, 5 lots of 5. So that's 3 lots of 5, and that's 5 lots of 5. Okay, question 3. Factorizing g squared, subtract 4g. In both of these terms there's a g, so it's g and then a bracket. What do I need to multiply g by to get g squared? The answer is g itself. What do I need to multiply g by to get negative 4g? The answer, negative 4. And so there's the answer, g, brackets, g minus 4. Okay, perhaps a slight challenge here. Semicircle, radius 3 centimeters. I'm going to draw a semicircle, half a circle, and the radius is 3. Now the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So the area of this circle is pi multiplied by 3 squared, which is 9 pi in terms of pi. But this is only a semicircle, so I only want half of that. So semi are half of 9 pi, which is 4.5 pi. 4.5 pi. Now if I want to check that in terms of a decimal answer, I've got 4.5 multiplied by shift times 10 gives me the pi, and that equals, there you go, 9 over 2 pi, 14.14. So 14.14, and it would be centimeters squared because it's area. Question 5, the nth term of the sequence, negative 2, 1, 4, 7. We always look at the gaps between the numbers. So the gap between negative 2 and 1 is 3. The gap between 1 and 4 is 3. And the gap between 4 and 7 is 3. The sequence is increasing. It's going up by 3 each time. Because it's going up by 3 each time, it's 3n. But my first number isn't 3, my first number is negative 2. How do I get from 3 back down to negative 2? Well, I have to subtract 5. 3 take away 5 is negative 2. And that's the nth term, 3n minus 5. Okay, question 6 is a percentage question, one that you must read carefully though. A top in a sale is reduced by 20%. The new price of the top. is £40. What was the original price at the top? So before the 20% reduction. If the top has had 20% taken off it already, then that means the price it's at now is 80%. So 80% is equal to £40 because it's had 20% reduction applied to it. If I apply a 20% reduction to 100%, I'll get 80%. If 80% is £40, then 10% is 40 divided by 8, which is £5. 10% is £5. 80 divided by 8 gives me 10, so 40 divided by 8 gives me 5. And therefore 100%, here I would have to multiply by 10. And so do the same here. It would have cost me £50. Take 20% off £50 and you do get £40. Excuse me. Question 7. Decrease £43 by 29%. Okay, then I will. 29% coming off. It's a decrease, it's going down. 100% is what I always start with. If I take off 29%, well, if you take off 30%, you've got 70, but I only need to take off 29, so it's 71%. Okay? 71 plus 29 makes 100. I want 71% as a decimal. It's just 0.71. And then I'll do 0.71 multiplied by 43. You should get that. Press SD and we get £30 and 53 pence. Okay. Let's move on to question 8. Bill, Carl and Tom share some money in the ratio 1 to 3 to 5. Carl gets £15. Calculate the total amount of money shared. Here again, our ratio is 1 to 3 to 5, so I'm going to draw my boxes. Should be a Pavlovian response now. Whenever you see a ratio question, you should just draw boxes. So here they are, 1, 2, 3. No, that's 3, 4, 5. It's Bill, Carl and Tom. So here we go. Bill, Carl, Tom. And it tells me that Carl gets £15. Here it says that. So these 3 boxes are £15. Well, that means that each box then must be £5. Can you see that? Because there are 3 of them. And if each box is £5, that means every box is £5. Which means then that Bill got 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 for Tom. It wants the total amount, so we need to add these 3 together. So 25, 30, 45. So the total, £45. Not difficult. Question 9. Paul travels at 30 miles per hour for 2 hours and 30 minutes. How far has he travelled? So it's a speed, distance, time thing. Speed, distance, time. There's our triangle. I know 30 miles an hour, so that's a speed. I know 2 hours and 30 minutes, that's a time. 2 hours 30 minutes is 2.5 hours. And since the speed is in miles per hour, the time needs to be in hours. How far has he travelled? So that's the distance. If I want to work out distance, I cover up the distance. And it's speed times time. So distance is 30 times 2.5. 2 30s is 60 and half of 30 is 15, so it's 75. You can check it on your calculator if you don't believe me, but it is 75 plus 75 what? 75 miles. That's how far he got. The important bit here is to change your 2 hours and 30 minutes into 2.5 hours. Finally, solve 9x plus 12 equals 6x plus 14. Okay then. I'm going to start by subtracting 12 from both sides. And I'll get 9x equals 6x plus 2. And that's because 12 take away 12 is nothing, but it doesn't affect the 9x because it's not 12x. 14 take away 12 is 2, but it doesn't affect the 6x because it's not x. Okay. Then I'm going to take 6x from both sides because I wanted to say x equals number. So I'll go less 6x on both sides. 9 less 6 is 3. 6x take away 6x gives me nothing. That's by design, of course. And that's left me with 2. Now here, if 3x equals 2, you will have seen this done before. X is equal therefore to 2 divided by 3. Now, that's why I've always told you to put this step in, even if you think your answer is an obvious integer. If you get used to doing this, that is the answer. 2/3 is the answer. That's the exact answer. If you change it into a decimal, it immediately involves rounding, and it isn't exact. So 2/3 is the answer. And that's the end of the low stakes quiz. Any issues with any of those questions, drop me an email and I'll do my best to help you. That is revision. But if there's any topics there that you thought, you know what, I haven't got a clue even once I've been through the solution, you can yourself go into Hecate Maths and choose that topic. And that's absolutely fine and will be a wonderful thing to do. Thank you.